you're linked with Osimhen, you're linked with Ugarte. A lot of the players I know you dislike are on the chopping block to leave. How excited are
life is
you about
good.
the future of Chelsea?
I'm excited, man. I've been a huge advocate for getting the Havertzes, the Mounts, all these players that got too comfortable sitting at ninth and 12th for Chelsea Football Club, and I felt like we accepted those players as the standards. There's a lot of people who I like to call them, like the ones who love the TikTokers. Like for me, you and I both agree that Mount is not a starter level football player. Like he's not like where Chelsea should look at if they want to compete for the best honors. I'm happy that we're kind of ripping that squad apart because that squad really disappointed me for the last 3 years. Like honestly, I'm at the point where I just want a complete rebuild. I'm willing to sacrifice Kovacic as much as I love that guy. I said if he doesn't want to be here, he can join the rest of them. I wish other grown men in the Chelsea fan base would finally accept that their players are not really at the standard that we should be looking at. And when your team is at ninth, at 12th in the last 3 years, you have to be objective and look and think, okay, we do need to do something here. And I'm glad the club are doing it. Is Pochettino the right choice? We'll have to see. But I'm happy with the signings. Uganda is a very good DM. We needed one for a while. I'm glad that we're not looking at Rice because for me, for the price, is a bit. We could get one or two players. And Osimhen is very good. He has pace. He's good off the ball. So I'm excited. But it's all theory. It's all theory, Terry. Especially in football. Let us sign them and then we'll see.
Yeah. As you say, hindsight is lucrative. When you might everyone's raving about Osimhen. He could come to the Prem and he could be the new Didier Drogba. He could be a Thierry Henry. He could be a Harry Kane. But he could also be a Vegas. You never know. He
Yeah.
won't be that bad. I'm sure he won't be that bad, my friend. And I get what you're saying about Mount. I look at Mount very much as if Man United buy him as the fifth signing of a very
Yeah.
powerful, like a very four brilliant signings, and then you add Mount into the squad player. I'm relaxed about that. We're talking
Yeah.
about 70, 80 million and Mount being our main. Don's with us now. Don's a Chelsea fan. What you saying, mate?
What's going on, bro? What's happening, Terry, man?
Yeah, I'm good. You're linked with Osimhen today. The Guardian claim you're ready to bid and try and buy him. What you saying?
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy with Osimhen. For me, I would have definitely preferred Toney, but obviously we know what's going on with him and the whole betting scandal. I don't think it's worth a risk to sign him because a lot of Chelsea fans were saying, "Oh, let's just sign him, playing Cuckoo up top or Lukaku up top till January." But if you think about it, he's not going to be training. He might be doing some personal stuff, but we don't know what Tony's going to come back. That's basically going to be a whole season wasted. So I'd rather we get someone now like Osimhen, who's proven. Again, he's definitely someone that I would like at Chelsea, but I would prefer Toney. But if we get Osimhen in, I'm gassed either way because I think with the quality of players that we're looking at and how we're looking to progress, and with Pochettino, I think he'll get on the end of a lot of chances, a lot of chances. So I'll be happy with that signing, to be honest with you, Terry.
Look, I totally get that. I think sorry, Google Chrome is going crazy on me right now. I don't know what it's doing. It was glitching out, but I think it's back now. Yeah, look, I get what you mean with Toney. I don't even know if Tony's allowed to sign for other clubs because they've said he's banned from all football activity. He can't even train. So
Mm.
transferring clubs is a football activity. Maybe you can't even do it. Maybe the ban extends that far. But yeah, like Osimhen's a very good player. Very expensive though because of how many goals he scored.
Yep.
Napoli are notorious when it comes to buying players from. So there is a big commitment there. But I think for yourselves, if you buy players like him and Kunku's coming in, Ugarte, you get a new good goalkeeper, and you clear out all that trash. And I look at all the players on that chopping block, and that list got sent through to me last night that someone picked up and sent to me. And I think about some of them are highly talented, some of them are old. The only one on there I'm not good. There's two players on that list that I'm not going to call trash. They just passed it now, and that's Aspi and Kante. But the rest of them, Loftus Cheek, Shalaba, Gallagher, Hudson Odoi, Koulibaly, Ziyech, Pulisic, for one reason or another. Kovacic on the list, I don't think he's going to flop at your club. The rest of them, they've all just been flops or nowhere near good enough, and you clear all of them players out, start using the youngsters that you bought last summer and this January more regularly with a proper coach, and you add a bit more star quality. I honestly just don't see why. I just don't see why you can't have a very good season next year.
What it is, Terry, it's a lot of rivals just hoping. It's the hopeful talk because they can see what we're doing. and they've enjoyed their fun whilst they can. And I think they're just kicking us down whilst they can because they know that we're going to bounce back as of next season. There's no way Pochettino is going to do any worse than what Graham Potter did and how Frank Lampard was. Like realistically, if Poch came in after Potter was sacked, after Tuchel was sacked, he would have been ruthless. He would have said to Ziyech, he would have said to Pulisic, "You guys are frozen out. You're not part of my plans." That's one thing I used to say about Potter all the time. This guy was not brave enough, Terry. Like he literally had the keys to the yard. Bowley told him, literally, "We believe in you. Do what you need to do." And he still decided to keep playing players that just had no future here. So next season is going to be completely different from the manager. You've already seen what Sterling's come out and said. He pretty much said, I'm looking forward to working with a manager who is going to have a lot of respect. That's what we need because a lot of these guys are delinquents. They're misbehaving. They need a head teacher there to pattern them up, literally. So next season is not going to be like it has been this season because again, we're going to trim down the squad. Hopefully, Bowley step back. We're going to get new players. We've got a proper manager now. Again, that question mark about him winning is we're yet to see it. But Poch is going to know that. He's going to want to prove a lot of people wrong. Do you know what I mean? He's going to want to prove a lot of people wrong. And I know people look at League On and they're like, oh, it's a Mickey Mouse league. But then again, if he didn't win the title there in his second season, it would have been, oh, he couldn't even win a title there. So at least now his actually experience winning. It's not the greatest league to win at, but he still had to do it. With egos such as Mbappe, with egos such as Neymar, you've got Messi there. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I just hope that they make sure that the environment that Poch is coming into is going to allow him to succeed and allow him to do well because he is a good coach. But again, he needs that environment to be sorted out for him to actually do anything for us next season. So I'm optimistic, man. I'm optimistic.
That's very true. And if you can clear those players out, I mean, you're talking at raising 250 to 280 in terms of fees, plus clearing. And look, some of them are on big wages, and it may be hard to move them on. There's like Hudson-Odoi linked to Nottingham Forest. He's on 100. He's on 100 grand a week. However, look, they were paying Jesse Lingard 100 grand a week, and he barely kicked the ball for them this season. So there's money there to do it. And I think. Man United, for instance, we struggled to get rid of Ed Wood because Ed Woodward was a terrible negotiator. Him and his team were awful. Matt Judge, they always wanted extortionate amounts of money for players. It was very rarely the salary that was stopping players from leaving. We would just ask for dumb money for players that were not worth it. What you guys have got to do is be smart and go, right, we know he's only worth 10 million, but we're not going to try and hang out for 25 million. Then people say no. Does that make sense? And you need to let them go. There was a moment that happened under Ollie about halfway through where our sub goalkeeper Romero wanted to leave. The club said yes, and then in the end they didn't let him. And it caused friction in the dressing room because his teammates and his friends were like, "Hang on a minute, you promised him a move away, and you didn't give it to him because you wanted up to 70% of his wages paid, and they only offered 60%. But for that sake of 10%, you've disgruntled him, and you've upset and annoyed a lot of your dressing room because and this is what will happen if too many of your players stay." Their friends in the dressing room will be annoyed for them when they're not playing because it creates a bad environment, and whatever else. But look, I think it's going to be a very interesting summer for you indeed. Don, always a pleasure speaking, bro. We'll talk again soon. Top man.